Hi guys, and welcome back to the Camp Chronicles podcast. Sadly, it is the last episode of this year in between camp, episode 30, and Summer's obviously already in the States. She'll be heading to camp soon. I am leaving for camp on the 16th of June. So today we thought we would discuss some of our summer camp bucket list / goals, things we want to achieve this summer, especially going back as a returner. I think it's kind of important that you at least try and set yourself some goals or have some things that you want to do to push yourself out of your comfort zone even more, just so you don't kind of take camp for granted because you've been again. I think it just gives you something to work towards. So that's what we thought we'd discuss today.
Just a quick tip is, if you are a returner, don't go into it with any expectations because it'll not fulfill it. And that's one of my biggest returning tips. But moving on to our bucket list, I think we're going to start off talking about camp. And I think a big one for me, and I'm going in deep straight away in the episode, even though it's just started, I want to stress less, show less emotions, but have more fun. I find that sometimes 99% of the time, actually, emotions are very much heightened at camp, and it's very easy to get yourself all caught up if you've had a bad day or something maybe doesn't go the way you planned it to. The past 3 years, I have been guilty of getting in my head and getting stressed about things and showing my emotions on my sleeve. This year, going into my new role as division head, I want to show less emotions and just focus on the good and know that, there's nothing that we won't resolve at camp.
That is true, but it's very easily done when you are super stressed about something, to just let it out and let it bubble over. It is hard sometimes to kind of put on a smiley, happy face. But yeah, that's something, to be fair, I'll probably hopefully try and do this year. Obviously, I don't know how much more stressful it'll be for me this year compared to other years as well, being in charge of 4 grades of kids rather than 1 grade of kids. I'm sure I'll have those moments also. I would also take that one. The first thing that I had down was to try and make sure that I can get to know all of the staff on girls' side at a minimum. In an ideal world, if I could know the names of everybody or have some sort of interaction with everyone at camp, boys' side, girls' side, support staff, everyone, that would be great. In a realistic sense, when there's hundreds of staff at camp and I've also got 120 kids to learn, I know that that's going to be hard. So that's why I'm setting hopefully a somewhat realistic side to try and get to know all of the girls' side staff, at least, at a bare minimum. And that's getting to know their names, so I'm not going up to an activity and thinking, oh my gosh, what's this girl called that's teaching cooking right now? I've got no clue, because that's kind of embarrassing.
It's the part during orientation where everybody's wearing their name tags and you look down and look up and look down and look up to make sure that you learn their names. But actually, the one that you've just said there leads me on to kind of one that I hadn't put down but that I've just thought about, is creating a strong team within my division, making sure that, not everyone's going to be best friends, but just making sure that we all communicate well with each other. We all get to know each other, try and get to understand each other's personalities, and just have that strong team, so then the kids can see that we're all bonded together, so it might make it a little bit easier for them to bond together because they are at that age now.
Yeah, that is true. I think if you can have that sort of strong bond, especially within your division, it just makes everything a whole lot easier, definitely. The next thing that I had down, which is something that I did in first summer and a little bit in second summer, but I didn't do it last year and I wish I did, is to I can't even really call it journaling because it's not proper journaling, but basically I would just write down in my notes on my phone everything that happened. And I've got one from my first summer and I was reading back through it the other day and I was just oh my god, this is actually hilarious. And just to go through, because it's nice to be oh, I remember this happened on this day or this happened on this day, because so much happens at camp that it's so easy to forget about different things. And I just want to try and treasure every moment, as cringy as that sounds, and not forget any little details. So yeah, kind of half journal every day.
We all do it during orientation. We all start the journal. We get 4 or 5 days into it. You end up missing a day, but then writing up about 2 days, and then before you know it, the days get away. But it is so nice to have them memories, and it's kind of something that I want to enforce this summer with my campers is if you're listening to this, girls, well, spoiler alert, but I want to like do kind of a spin the wheel situation with them, and then whoever gets chosen that day gets to vlog the day, and then at the end of the summer it's going to be like a whole like movie of the summer. I think it'll be such a nice thing to do, especially to have all of their memories now, like, you know, they are getting to middle camp. But that was just a total side note off the back of what you said about journaling. But another one, which is again quite deep, because you know we love to in these episodes. I want to be more confident in my abilities and not wonder what other people are thinking about me, or what other people think if I'm doing a good job or not. Because realistically, at camp, no one is judging you. It's not that nobody cares, but everybody has their own things going on at camp, and they don't have time to, if you can hear that, it's the dishwasher, they don't have time to actually like focus on what you're doing, because everybody's focused on what they're doing themselves.
Yeah, agree again fully. As much as like you're probably used to like being at home and everybody judging you for everything, like at camp, I'm gonna say most of the time, because some people just are that type of person, but also if they are that type of person, like you don't really need them in your life. Do you know what I mean? Like if they're judging you, like we discussed in the previous episode, for getting up on stage and doing a TikTok talent show and taking a video and captioning it ick, that's just not the type of person that you need to be friends with. So you can just like forget about the people that are judging you. And the only people that it like really matters from is like the leadership staff, I would say. Like not in a sense that they're like judging you, but like more in a sense that they're kind of like guiding you and helping you to do your job. And also like your kids, because you want to develop a good relationship with your kids, so you should care what your kids think to an extent, I would say. And then next one that I had down is to try and have, which I don't know how hard this is going to be, hopefully not too hard, but to try and have some sort of meaningful interaction with every kid under my supervision. So, like I said, over the summer, I will have about 120 kids, I think, across like the 4 grades that I'll be looking after. And like, I would hate at the end of the summer to like get like the camper reviews, the camper thingies back, and then be like, oh, what do you think about your leadership staff? And they were like, oh, I don't know, Ellen never came and spoke to us, or Ellen never spent any time with us. Like that would genuinely break my heart at the end, I think. I don't want the kids to see me coming in and think, oh my God, we're in trouble. Like Ellen's coming over, we must have done something wrong. Like I want to be able to like have time with them where it's fun and not just be also trying to sort out drama all the time. I guess that depends on how much drama there is really to sort out as to whether I can have fun time and drama time.
I'm
But yeah.
sure I'm sure you'll be able to work it out. I know last summer it's not the same as having 120 kids, but last summer one of the things that I took away was that I managed to have a conversation with every single one of the children and
Mhm.
have a moment with them. It might not necessarily have been a meaningful moment,
Mhm.
but I know that I walked away and I spoke to all of them, whereas I think in previous years I'd always focused on just like my bunk and my bunk alone. And like I'd had the odd conversation, but I think that's so important, and honestly, I can't wait for us, fingers crossed, to return in September and jump on. And like the first
Mhm.
video will be looking back at the summer and kind of be all of the things that, you know, we've done at camp from this bucket list video.
Taking everything off.
Yeah. A bit less of a deep one from me. I want to make sure I get more sleep and I listen to my body. I preach to the choir when I talk about this. Something I don't always do at camp. You know, FOMO is real. But I think
Mhm.
this year, in both of our jobs alone, we're gonna pray for that night's sleep. So I want to make sure that I'm getting more sleep and I'm listening to my body and what it needs. And also, I'm gonna brave it and try and eat every meal at camp and not just eat rice, peppers, and cucumber and tomatoes.
I'll be very proud if you manage to do that. You'll come back and you'll be like, oh my God, wait, actually, I kind of love camp barbecue now.
Never, ever, ever going to happen, ever. Trust.
That would be a serious moment if it did.
It would.
It would be crazy. Regards to the food, I'm kind of hoping that they maybe try and put like a few different new meals and stuff on the menu at camp this year. So I know like most years there's always something new, and I love trying the new bits. So I'm hoping at my camp they have a few Camp Echo, have a few extra like new bits on the menu. Hopefully.
Yeah, our whole like dining room plan is completely changing, so
Ooh.
I'm curious to know how that is gonna work out this summer.
Like where you're going to be sitting, or like how they're serving the food, or
How they're serving the food. Yeah, it's gonna be all like buffet style.
that's perfect. That's how
So
we do it.
no boogieing for us anymore.
Buffet style, honestly, I think is a winner because you can just go up and get as much or as little as you want, and like the kids, they're not like fighting over it being divided on the table. But I'm an advocate for the buffet style. The next one that I had down, which again I don't know how realistic this is because it's been a goal that I've tried to set every summer and have failed miserably. But it is to try and maintain some sort of gym routine. And when I say like routine, that is very loose because I'm not going to be able to be like, oh, Monday's lower, Tuesday's upper, like Wednesday I'll do cardio. Like I know that that's not realistic. And so forth. So I'm going to aim for try and do at least like 2 to 3 sessions a week, and whether that be, I don't know, doing like spin because we've got spin bikes, or whether that be, I don't know, I was gonna say run around the lake, but I really can't run, it hurts my knees too much, so not running. Doing like weights or a little Pilates workout, anything like that. I'm gonna aim for like at least 2 or 3 times a week. Guess
Yeah,
what?
that's a good idea. And I suppose you can just rope your girls into doing it as well, can't you? But like run a session on the spin bikes, you get your gym session in, you get to have
Mm-hmm.
fun with the kids, winning.
The girls actually were really good in previous years, and like during rest hour, they'd be like, "Oh, we're gonna go for a run around the lake," and I'd be like, "All right, you go do your thing. I can't run." But like, also, I always had stuff to do during those times,
Mm.
so I couldn't go and do it, unfortunately. But this year, I'm hoping that like if I can just wake up a little bit earlier, I'll say that now, then maybe I can get up and do it before the actual day starts. We'll say.
If you catch Ellen in the gym at 7:30 a.m., I
Hmm.
need picture evidence for people because I will be fast asleep
Mm.
and I can't wait to see her follow that through. And now you've put it out there into the universe, you've got to
Oh,
do it.
God. I know. I have to try and do it now.
And my kind of final camp one before we move on to like the activities is a successful girls thing. Because
Mm.
last year it was quite tragic. I told everybody that we should practice with the massive treasure chest on the stage as that was a prop for our girls sing. And they were like, no, it'll be fine, it'll be fine. Well, guess what happened? On stage, in front of the whole of camp, two of the girls fell over the treasure chest. The
Oh.
whole of the place, like literally the whole of the social hall, went, people went to me, was that meant to happen? I was like, yeah, it was part of it. Obviously, was not part of it. Um, so I'm praying for a successful girls thing this year.
Mm. Fingers crossed for you on the thing. I think I'm kind of that's kind of me done with those sort of camp ones as well. So we'll move on to like activities at camp that we want to do. My first one is to go on the trapeze and do a flip because I have never been on the trapeze yet. I don't think it was set up first summer of camp when I went in 2022, but it has been in 23 and 24. And my girls don't have like in previous years, like I've never had trapeze as an elective where they wanted to go to it, so I never got a chance to go on the trapeze. So during orientation, I'm gonna go and I'll be at the front of the queue to practice on the trapeze because I really want to do it and I really want to try and do a flip as well. That's top of the list.
Wow, I am probably the least flexible person you will ever meet. I am like a metal ruler. So the last place you'd probably find me is doing a trapeze. But that is honestly, I hope you do that and please send me a video of it. I need
I'll
to see
get
that.
you.
I'll be like, look everybody, my friend is a trapeze artist. I don't know what you call
I
people.
think that's it.
Yeah, and all my gymnastics friends are going to kill me because they're like my closest friends at camp. Sorry, guys. But funnily enough, this is such a random side note. Talking about being able to tell people about my friend Ellen. I walked into the back garden 2 days ago, and I was lighting the fire for one of my like friend's sons, who I'm staying with at the moment. And I walked past the couch with like all of the teens on there, just chilling and chatting. And one of the girls goes to me, "Do you know Ellen?" Just some random girl from Long Island. I'm like, yeah. Bearing in mind, this isn't the first time this has happened on the trip that
Maybe.
I'm on currently. And she was like, I was Ellen's camper for 2 years. So I looked at the time on my phone and I was like, I know Ellen's going to be asleep right now.
Mm.
So I took a selfie with the girl for Ellen to wake up to. And honestly, I'm just saying, out of the two of us, Ellen is famous
Oh
because I've
yeah.
been on the trip now for how many weeks? 2 weeks.
Mm.
And two people have asked me if I know Ellen.
Who was
So,
the first one?
uh,
Oh, Brooke. Brooke.
yes,
Yeah,
on
in
FaceTime.
Israel. Yeah.
So, yeah,
It's
guys,
these
I'm friends with somebody that's famous.
crossover episodes, Camp Echo, Tyler Hill crossovers are happening everywhere.
Yeah,
But when I
literally.
woke up and saw that photo, I was like, how the hell has that happened? I was like, how is someone with Emily? I was so confused.
It's so funny though, isn't it? That was
I
just
know.
such a random side note for y'all. My activities bucket list starts
Mhm.
with the ropes course. In my second summer, I went on with the kids. I thought I'd avoid the ropes course as long as my camp career lasted. Didn't work out for me. I got onto the ropes course. Turns out we had to go first. Bearing in mind the kids that went on with me went on like every elective period they possibly could, and I didn't realise I was frightened of heights until that moment. Um, so I was nearly crying, shaking. The girls were like hysterically laughing at me. Um, and I think I got round the course in about 45 minutes. Took me ages, and trust me, our ropes course isn't that long. So,
Yeah.
my bucket list this year at the top of it for activities is do the ropes course, not cry, and not get the kids to laugh at me this time.
That is a pretty valid one, to be fair. But yeah, I have faith. I have faith that you'll be able to do it. You've just gotta like pretend that you're born to be in the trees. You're like a bird that's like just cutting about their normal daily life up in the trees.
It's like the ones where like they shake though, and you like feel like you're literally
Mm.
gonna fall. I'm like, don't like this, don't like this, don't like this. But
Well,
I did. I was gonna say I did do the massive swing last year,
like
where
the
like they
flying
pull you all the
squirrel.
way up and they swing you out over the lake. That
Mhm.
was quite the experience. Did scream when I did that, and there were kids there, and I did nearly curse, and so probably would have lost my job. But we
Do you know
moved
what? At least you tried it. And
exactly.
you just got to trust that the people that are doing the ropes course have been trained and they know and they tie all the knots and clip it in safely. So you're going to be safe regardless. You'll be fine.
Yeah.
My next one that I had for the activities is this is kind of vague, I feel like, but I want to improve my dancing. Now, camp dancing has got a very specific style to it, I would say. And for any international staff members that are going to sleepaway camps like ours, and you're a dancer, you're gonna get to camp and realize that the dancing that you know is just no longer relevant because camp dancing is totally different to normal at home dancing. Not that I'm a dancer at home and I know any sort of moves, but like it's just like totally, totally different. And it's just a very specific style of dance. I should still say that even though the moves are maybe not as hard, I still just can't keep up with them half the time. And they just don't stick in my brain. I don't know what it is, but like dance routines, I find it really hard for them to stay in my brain. Really hard.
I think the like timber and like your usual camp dancers
Mm.
aren't too hard, but when I watch them actually dance like in dance competitions, my jaw like hits the floor. I'm like, how does your body move like that? And that's a big thing I think like when it comes to like sing dances and stuff. I could never, well, saying that I couldn't even choreograph a normal dance with like two steps in, let alone choreograph like an actual sing dance because they're like popping and locking and they're like hips are sway.
Mhm.
It's camp dance, like you said, is just next level.
And like the older girls as well, they'll do like halftime dances during like the boys' basketball games and stuff, and then like To be fair, even the eighth grade do powder puff, like the girls do, like American football or football, just football if you're American. And like the boys do like a dance at half time and stuff. And even like their dancers, like are just insane. Like I cannot keep up with them, like watching them. And having the oldest kids last year, there's a lot of different things that they were making dances for, like during like the different color wars and stuff that we did. And I was honestly just mesmerized, A, at the fact that they could do the dance, and B, that they were choreographing it and then teaching it to like 20, 30 other people. It's just a whole lot of stuff. I just wish I could do it, but I don't think I'll ever be able to be as good as them. I've got two left feet, but that's fine.
Catch Ellen's job next summer being the dance specialist, and catch mine being
Imagine.
the ropes course specialist.
It's perfect for her.
Supposedly this summer they are extending the inflatables course on the lake. Now we all know my love for water. Um, so I'm hoping that this summer I get the opportunity to go out on the inflatables with the kids. I just find it like it's the jumping into the water part and like falling off into water when I don't really want to fall into water that I don't like. But I mean, if they are extending it, I've got to go on it.
Yeah. Maybe you could just like slowly lower yourself in first so
Yeah.
that you don't get the shock of hitting the water straight away. And then when you go on like the slide or the chaos or all the inflatable stuff, then you might be okay.
Have
Hopefully.
I ever told you the story about I climbed up to the top of the slide, the whistle blew for the lifeguards for us to all get down, and I was
Uh-huh.
stuck at the top of the slide because I was too scared to go down it. And all of my
What
kids were
did you
like staying
do?
in the water trying to cheer me on to get me to go down the slide, and I just
Oh.
literally I wouldn't. So then all the lifeguards came round the slide, so I
Mhm.
just had to push myself down it. It was honestly so embarrassing.
Do you know what though? Those slides are brutal. Again, it's maybe slightly off topic, but if you're going down those slides as a girl on a hot summer's day, you need to be careful because I went down, well, there was a lot of us and we're going down and stuff like that. And no one had been down on the slide for a little while. And obviously when the lads go down, they're wearing like their swimming trunks and stuff, like their butts are covered and like the water from the lake water that's on their trunks goes on the slide and it's fine and they just slide down nice and easily. And no one had gone down the slide for a little bit. It was really hot, so any water that was on the slide had dried up. I go down the slide and my butt cheeks were burned. Like I got like friction burn from going down the slide because it wasn't like wet and it would all dried up from the sun and literally like had like marks on my butt for a few days after that. It was painful. I like when you go down like and feel it stinging and I was like ah. So
Oh
yeah, be careful on the slide.
yeah. So note to any lifeguards on here. Make
Mhm.
sure that if you're next to the slide, you use your little paddle for your paddle board and you splash the water slide because the booty burns are not good for no one.
So my last one, I maybe should have maybe mentioned this in the other topic, but as cringe as it sounds, I want to make new friends. It's not really an activity making new friends, but like I don't know, it's really easy to go back to camp as a returner and not branch out and not speak to people. And I know that it'll be maybe harder in the role that I've got this year because people might not necessarily want to be my best friend because they're not going to want to tell me the drama or the gossip or anything like that if I'm leadership necessarily. But I still would like to make some new friends, whether that's friends with new staff or friends with returning staff that I wasn't as close with before. Anybody listening to this, come to our Camp Echo. I'd love to be your friend. I'm embarrassed for myself already. But I just like talking to new people and like just like hearing loads of different stuff about people and their lives and like the cool things they've done and like yeah, that's my beg to be friends over.
So my top tip for Ellen and for anybody listening is during orientation, make sure you just don't sit with the same people every meal time.
Mhm.
Don't sit with the same people when you're doing full camp orientation things. It's so easy to sit next to somebody you're comfortable with, especially when eating.
Mhm.
But just that's how you're gonna branch out and meet new people.
Yeah,
Um,
I can do
and
that.
there has often been times where I have sat on a table during orientation on a lunch or dinner and waited for people to sit down and nobody has sat on my table. So,
Yeah, I've
yeah,
had that as well.
that's fun. So if you
No,
do see me sat on a table on my own, please sit next to me. I don't eat loud. I get annoyed by loud eaters. Um, and I won't judge the way you eat, I promise. And
Mhm.
to be honest, I'll be probably eating a grain of rice. So yeah,
That's really unlocked some triggering memories because how awful is it when when they'll tell you like, oh, if you return out, like don't clump together, make sure you go and sit in separate places. And like I remember them like telling all us leads like, all right, every one of you like go and sit on a separate table, and you're sitting on the table and you're the one table that like nobody wants to come and sit next to you and have lunch with you. It makes us this is not, by the way, to scare anybody that's going for the first time. This is more of a returner thing. If
yeah,
you've gone for a few years and you're being told you need to split yourselves up, and nobody new wants to come and sit with you, and you sat on the table by yourself, or like maybe like two people will come over in the end, and I'm like, wow, this is great. Hopefully that doesn't happen this year. Please come and sit with me again. I promise I won't judge you eating, and I want to talk to everybody.
please be my friend, please.
Please be my friend.
And on that note, I think we're going to move on from begging people to be our friends and sit with
Yeah.
us at lunchtime. Trip. Trip is like a big part of camp if you do have like the middle camp to older. I don't know what it's like at your camp if your lower camp goes on long trips. I don't know if ours they just go on like half a day trip.
Yeah.
Um, we are going to Hershey and Dorney Park, if that's right,
Hmm.
what they're called this year. So my big thing is I love roller coasters, like they're my favourite things, so I don't have to worry about that. But this year I am gonna force myself onto at least one water ride. Now that water ride might be the lazy river, if there's a lazy river. But at least I can say I've went on a water ride. That's kind of my trip bucket list, and obviously don't want to lose a kid, want to have fun, and want to come back with all the Hershey merch.
You'll be getting the Reese's Pieces boxes, the Hershey's Kisses boxes. So it's like a rite of passage. Whenever like the eighth graders all go to Hershey Park at my camp, and they all come back and they've all got like the boxes and the merch, and then all the staff have it as well. So it's definitely a rite of passage. I do not know whether I will be on a trip this year, but if I do end up on a trip with whatever grade of kids, then I don't know what my goal will be. Probably to not cry, because I cry on nearly every trip that I go on because something happens and I get overwhelmed. Like 2 years ago, I was sat in Disney Springs and I called my mum. But as I was by myself because I was picking up a fanny pack that one of the kids had lost, which had everything in it. And I was like, I might as well call my mum whilst I'm alone. And then literally 2 minutes in, she was like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "Oh no." And started sobbing crying. So if I do go on a trip this year, my goal is to not cry, basically.
I think that's a pretty good one to be fair, because
Yeah.
I have heard they are very stressful and a lot of like almost pressure rides
Yeah.
on the trips, but we'll be fine. We've got this, and if we need to cry, we'll call each other. And
Yeah.
who knows, maybe you might land yourself in Hershey and Dorney too, imagine. That'll be our
That'd be
like
so funny.
one of our many planned Camp Echo Tyler Hill crossovers.
Yeah, it just subtly falls into place. So we'll move on from like stuff at camp now, and then this is like the post-camp travels sort of bucket list thing. Um, the first one, which we both have on our list, is to see each other in Nashville.
Ellen has managed to persuade the gang to come to
Hmm.
Nashville, so just
Hopefully.
you wait and see. We will go crazy in Nashville if we see each other. I'm actually like just picturing it now. We're both on Find My iPhone, we're both following each other down Broadway. We meet in the
Uh-huh.
middle of the street, we go crazy. I finally meet like my best friend who I've never spoken to in my life, Stephen. It's just all going to work out. It's going to be perfect. And we're going to see each other in
Exactly.
Nashville. And we're going to
Fingers
get
crossed.
matching cowboy hats, even though they're like $1 million. And
Oh
I've
my
just
goodness.
decided in that second that we're going to do that.
And we're gonna have to like wear them on every single flight and every bit of traveling that we do for the rest of the travels because they won't fit in a suitcase.
But at least we've both got a part of each other.
Yes, that is true. That would be a good memory to have for sure.
For me, the post camp travels, my mind changes all the time.
Hmm.
I'm desperate now after spending all this time speaking to Ellen to do a road trip. I also kind of now maybe want to go to Hawaii for a while and travel around there. I feel like I always end up going to the same places that I've been before. Like last
Hmm.
year, the big one that I hadn't been to was Texas, but then I ended up in Miami. I ended up doing Florida again. I ended up doing New York again. Obviously, I'd done Nashville, which was new. but I kind of want to see new places, and I feel like if I can get that little road trip in that
Mm.
Ellen kind of done last summer, I'll do that. But if not, I really want to go back to LA, which contradicts everything I've just said. But I want to do LA. I want to do the Salt Lake City to Vegas road trip,
Mm.
and then I really want to go to Hawaii. But that's if I have any money left, because I've
Do
spent
you know,
loads of money
you
already.
could do a 2 week road trip, do the route that I did, but add a day or two into LA. And then if you wanted to go up and do like Yosemite and stuff, you could do that and then end in San Francisco and fly from San Francisco to Hawaii.
But I've also just went out and spent $294 on two pairs of sneakers 2 days ago. So
Maybe not then.
not sure if that's in the budget anymore.
No, definitely not. We'll take that out. We'll scrap that part. Another one I've got is to attend some sort of music event. Now, last year, James went to see Wyatt Floors and 49 Winchester when they were in Texas. I think it was, I don't know what it's called, it's like New Braunfels or something. I don't know how you exactly say it. And he had an insane time, and he was like FaceTiming me from there, and they all went wearing matching like wife beaters and like shorts and stuff. It was really cute actually. It was so funny. But like I'd love to go to some sort of like live music event in America. I don't think I've been other apart from obviously being in Nashville, like there's live music on all the time. Like I wanna like go to like an actual like concert or festival type thing or something like that. Which you are doing, aren't you, somewhere?
I am. I've actually done that since 2023. I went to see Shania Twain at Madison Square Garden.
Mm,
Literally got last minute tickets. They were unbelievable seats for $90.
that's so
Obviously,
good.
Shania Twain is like my number one. So that was like the best night of my life. And then last year, so random because we're so close to Bethel Woods. I think we're like 20 minutes away. They do
Mhm.
like big concerts there. We went to see Train. That's who sings
Oh,
like Hey Soul Sister, and
uh-huh.
yeah. Well, my tickets were like $10, which was great.
That's good.
I had no idea what 90% of the songs were, and 10% of the songs were sang last. So I spent half of the concert just rocking
That's good.
backwards and forwards, bopping along, pretending I knew music when I didn't. And then this year, actually, this is a controversial one now, guys. Sorry. I'm going to see Zach Bryan in July 18th in New Jersey, which I'm so excited for. Them tickets weren't $10. Yeah, gonna have to work extra hard this summer to make sure I can afford them tickets. But I just thought it'd be nice. Middle of the summer breakup, saw the tickets were on sale, so got a little crew together and we're gonna go and see Zach Bryan.
That'll be so sick. Like I'm actually so jealous to be honest. If I could make it work to get it off, then maybe I'll have to try. I think it would be insane. But again, I'm gonna have to be working extra hard if I want to do that to get that money for that.
But
Definitely.
again, another Camp Echo Tyler Hill crossover, which would be
Hmm.
amazing.
But the last few kind of bits that are on my travel bucket list post camp that I'll run through quickly. Number one is we are hopefully planning a road trip, and I really want to see a bear in Wyoming when we to go to Yellowstone. Fingers crossed there'll be one. I don't obviously want to get attacked by a bear or close enough to be attacked by a bear, but I'd just love to see a bear in the wild. We did have a bear at camp last year, but I never saw said bear, sadly. But maybe I'll see one in Wyoming this time round. Another quick one is that I do not want to have an overweight suitcase at any point during the travels. Hopefully, I'll manage to keep my suitcase underweight the whole time. I did just do a practice pack today, and I should manage to be within the weight limit. And the final one is obviously the last 2 weeks of my travels. I'm going to Orlando, and James is flying out to meet us, and we're doing like Disney and Universal for 2 weeks. And we've got one day at Epic Universe, and I want to make the most of that one day at Epic Universe and get on every single ride. If that means we are there from 9 a.m. opening till 9 p.m. close or whenever it closes, we will be there all day long because I am not leaving until every ride has been rode, especially the Harry Potter Battle at the Ministry.
Yeah, the universe does look insane. I was
Hmm.
speaking to the family that I'm staying with at the moment, and Scott actually gets free tickets to Epic Universe.
That's so
So
cool.
they're gonna go after camp, and I'm like, please take
Take
me with
me.
you. Even though there's literally no time have I got to go to Florida. So yeah, I'm so jealous of you that you're going to Florida
Mhm.
for the 2 weeks. Nothing matches that feeling of that Florida holiday, does it? Like, you
Mm-mm.
can still go to Florida, but nothing matches the Orlando feeling when you land in the airport and the airport looks like it was built in the
Yeah,
90s with like the blue floored carpet,
yeah,
and you get on the little train and it's all just like, oh, it's
magical.
the best. I'm so jealous. You need to FaceTime me like when you're at the park. Oh, I'm losing my voice, guys.
I'll be vlogging the whole. My voice is going out. I'll be vlogging the whole thing, hopefully, so you can like relive every moment through the vlogs on YouTube. Little shout out to my YouTube
Yes,
there.
everybody follow Ellen's YouTube because I can guarantee Ellen will stick to actually vlogging because she's
I
doing a
will.
very good job at the moment. Whereas I've said I'd vlog several times and then I've chickened out and haven't done it.
You just
So
gotta
yeah,
do it. You be walking around like, "Hey guys," notice how I've just got a tripod here ready. Hey guys, blah,
she's
blah.
actually
You just gotta
practicing
film
her
it.
grip on the tripod for how
Yeah,
she's
no.
going to walk around Florida.
Making sure I'm ready to get all the angles in.
It's just going to be so funny for the Spotify listeners right now. They're going to be so
I
confused.
know if anybody's just listening to the audio and not watching, they're gonna be
Yeah,
like,
funny. So that kind of rounds up the bucket list, which obviously we've got loads of other stuff that we've got in our heads. Probably can't think of right now. More stuff will come over the summer. During orientation, you usually set goals as well. You know,
"Eh."
just have realistic goals and realistic expectations because you don't want to let yourself down. I'm getting sad because it's the last time we're going to film. Fingers crossed. We go back to filming in September if lives obviously match up that way. Um, Over the next 3 months, I'm going to spend time practicing how to make TikToks. And I'm okay with the editing, I'm quite good at that part. But when it comes to the TikToks, if you have seen any TikToks posted over on our Camp Chronicles page, if you have seen any Instagram posts put on, and the uploads, Ellen has kind of took lead in all of that because I am just terrible at that stuff. Although it was kind of a joint like
Mhm.
decision to make the Spotify and the YouTube and this podcast, I do have to give a massive shout out to Ellen, give her most of the credit because she's
Yeah.
been amazing throughout this whole thing and she had no idea I was going to say this. But I started to say this from around episode 3 when I knew we were going to film our last one. So a massive shout out to Ellen. She's also got a fabulous TikTok
Thank you,
page
girl.
with so much advice, so many visual ideas for the summer, packing, everything. So go over to Ellen's page, make sure you're following, and check out her YouTube channel because it's great. And I do feature in one video, so
Yes, you
yeah,
do.
go over and watch that one and comment how much you love me and how much you want to see the videos again.
No, I would say exactly the same about you, except you don't post on your TikTok,
No.
and I can't, and you haven't posted on your YouTube yet. So when we get back in the after the summer and we start filming again, and you upload your vlogs to YouTube, then I can give you the massive shout out for it
But
then.
yeah, we can't believe it's over already, but also it's just the beginning because we're now all going off to camp. If you aren't going to camp this summer, keep watching the videos, keep listening to the podcasts, get ready. If you need any advice, we are probably going to be not on socials as much this summer just because obviously, we're going to be very busy in our job roles. And usually when you are traveling, you're not actually on your phone that much because you're used to the detox. But if we do see any messages, we will try and respond back to them. If they are important, kind of just like spam us, and I'm sure
Yeah.
we'll respond back to you. Don't worry. And we won't think anything of it if you do spam us.
Yeah.
But good luck. We wish you all the best. Be yourself. Be present in every moment. Give it your all. Live the summer with no regrets. If you think I'm not going to do that today, I'll do it tomorrow. Just do it that day because you don't want to end the summer and not have done the things that you do want to do. So be yourself, live in the moment, just give it your all. That's my final words. Do you have,
The final words of
yeah,
wisdom.
that's my final words of wisdom, as Ellen's just said. Do you have
Same.
any final words of wisdom for our listeners.
Make sure you drink plenty water, make sure you wear your sunscreen, and also make sure you pack some hoodies for the days where it's cold. Try and call home when and where you can, even if you do get wrapped up in the camp bubble, which I am really, really bad for doing. Like, your family and your friends and everyone will want to hear from you and hear what you're doing. So try and just make a little bit of time to speak to them, let them know that you're safe and you're having a good time. But also just try and fully immerse yourself in camp life and everything that it has to offer. And also a massive thank you for all the support on the podcast so far. It has been so nice to hear like messages from people like saying like that we've helped them or we've inspired them to apply or everything like that. It's like it's really wholesome and I like it when people tell us that. It's very nice.
And
Thank
it
you.
wouldn't be a video without having another thing to say because we do this every episode.
Another thing, another thing.
Finally, and this is the last thing I'm going to say, is please stick with it. Them first few days can be so daunting. You can even get 3 weeks into it and it hits you again. Like, it does happen, but stick with it because I promise you, if it's the right place for you,
Mm-hmm.
it'll all work out. You know, it isn't always the right place for people, but try your hardest to stick it out for as long as you can because
Mm-hmm.
the summer does change paths, and as long as you give it your all, what you give into it, you'll get out of it.
Agreed. Big tick for that.
And on that note, we will see you in September. We look forward to hearing all your stories, following along on social media. Please
Mhm,
send us videos. Please tag us in your TikToks. We want to see
mhm,
all of your plans and
mhm,
what you're doing this summer. Thank you for listening. We feel extremely grateful for all your support.
mhm.
And yeah, fingers crossed, we'll see you in September.
Yes. See you later.